is a testament to our commitment to fostering a culture of quality and excellence within our institution. We believe that Dr. Supratim one of us. So please let us join together to give once again a very warm welcome to Dr. Supratim.
Sheila, for such a wonderful introduction to the topic. It was wonderful. So that makes my work much easier. Respected officer in charge, Dr. Partha a representative of the IQAC, Dr. Sheila Karji, the TCS of this college, Dr. Sionle, and my other colleagues, my dear colleagues and students. I'm really very exhilarated. I'm excited today because it is at the same time a moment of pride, but a moment of great humbleness that I'm introducing my teacher to my students. So Dr. Supratim sir has been my teacher when I was an undergraduate student in Scottish Church College. And today it is a rare occasion that that he has agreed to come to our college and deliver a lecture on power and ethics in Gandhi. To formally introduce Dr. Supratim Das, he is a vice principal of Scottish Church College. He is associate professor of history, a very illustrious student. He has been a student of Presidency College, so in that way sir also has a great connection with government colleges, and so he's a product of government college for that matter. So he was a student of Presidency College and later on went on to do his MPhil from Center for Social Sciences and PhD from Jaipur University. And one of the things that I have to comment on is that one of the his supervisor was Dr. Shonjan Das, who was the Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University and Jaipur University for some time. So he is someone who deals with history. It's not that he's only teaching, but he is I would say that he takes history to the level of fine art. Apart from being associated with Scottish Church College in this administrative and academic post, he's also actually teaching at Rabindranath University for last 20 years, sir?
25 years.
25 years. So it's about 25 years that he's taking classes at, he has also taught at Jaipur and Presidency. And he has also been associated with Shotnath Tagore Center for Civil Studies, of which we have a local chapter here. So right from the beginning when this center was opened, he was one of the teachers taking classes for the history students. So this is, this introduction would be incomplete if I don't talk about one thing about what is brilliant about sir is his capacity to make very complex ideas simple for the students in spite of retaining the somberness and solemnness of the topic. That's where I find sir's teaching, sir's deliberations most interesting, which otherwise academicians generally have this in a way hides his scholarship and digests his scholarship and then brings out things in ways and means by which it becomes palatable and it becomes understandable, comprehensible to the students. And in this, I think I don't have any better comparison than Dr. Supratim Das. So again, sir, I'm thankful that you have agreed to come to the college where I'm teaching. And I will be just as a student sitting in the audience today, and I will be reminded of my first year honors classes. First year past classes. History was my general, English was my honors subject, and sitting in room number 1, which was also the room where Swami Vivekananda sat to take his lessons. So that was the room where Sir used to teach us. And you must be knowing that it is a rare privilege to be a part of Scottish Church College, because this has been the college which has produced the two greatest sons of India. One is Swami Vivekananda and the other is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bosu. So that is what makes this college special. Just, climbing up the steps and looking at the two plaques of copper and entering into the hall where you have the statue of a bust of Alexander Duff with Christ's pictures on the other, paintings on the either side. It itself is like entering the college was always for me like entering a pilgrimage, entering a temple, and that is how we were trained in that college, the legacy of which I bear. And all of this would not have been possible if teachers like Sir would not have been there. Thank you so much, sir, once again. Now I leave the stage to Dr. Supratim Dash for his comments and opinions and deliberations.
Morning, and before anything, I must say that I'm truly, literally overwhelmed by so warm hospitality coming to this college, and such a graceful gathering of students and teachers, and such a nice atmosphere. Really, I find myself so privileged. It's my great honor and privilege really to be here with you, and particularly because I have been invited to deliver a lecture far away from my hometown and Darjeeling. So something romantic and academic, both are discernible here. Before anything, I am grateful to the respected officer in charge of Darjeeling Government College, Dr. Projjol Lama. I'm grateful to organizers, the IQAC coordinator, the Teachers Council Secretary. Pardon me, I can't remember all the names. And all the other faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen, and of course to my very dear student, Dr.Partha Gangopadhyay. Really, thank you, Partha, for such a kind introduction, for which whether I do not know whether I am worthy or not. And it would have not have been possible but for Partha's tremendous interest, eagerness to bring me here. The moment he came to know that I'm coming to Darjeeling, he immediately invited me and then confirmed everything. And so, once again, I would repeat that it's a great honor for me, for my family, to be here with you, spending such a very august meeting and something like an exchange here. Now, my topic, particularly the caption of the topic, Notions of Power and Ethics, Mohandas Gandhi's perspective. At the very first moment, it will come to be very abstract and to some extent maybe polemical or difficult. already Partha has put a pressure on me that whatever I say very, very lucidly, in very simple terms, and I am intelligible to each and every one. So that has been a pressure on me because that has been a challenge to me that I must be intelligible to you, understandable to you. Otherwise, Partha, he will be embarrassed. Now, Mohandas Gandhi, surely he had been one of the most illustrious icons of India. Of course, in the pre-colonial India, because after independence, he did not live long. I would give you just two examples to make things simple. To explain these two terms, otherwise loaded terms, power and ethics, because they carry a heavy baggage. When Cripps came to India, I think there are students from history and students from political science and English. Most of you must have heard the name of Cripps. So it was the Cripps mission. At that time, the secretary of the Indian National Congress, Abul Kalam Azad. Now, by that time, it was sure, it was clear to the Raj that independence of India is just ahead. The colonial government cannot retain India, the most lofty colony, the extension of British Empire, global British Empire, so much so that it became the British Indian Empire. Its days are numbered. Now, Maulana Azad came to meet Mr. Gandhi, that is Mahatma Gandhi. Immediately before that particular meeting, 2 or 3 days back, Cripps was actually met by the same secretary, that is Maulana Azad. He went to meet Mr. Cripps and he had a particular proposal about how there may be a partition of India and how Indian National Congress can be a major stakeholder in the share of political power after independence. So Maulana Azad submitted as a particular copy of the proposal, a paper note. In between, the secretary of Gandhi, he took this paper to Mahatma Gandhi before Maulana Azad came and told him, Bapu, see how they are planning a partition and planning so many other designs without your knowledge. You are totally kept in the dark. You are into the dark. Bapu did not make any comment. And then Maulana Azad came. Maulana Azad had some conversation with Mahatma Gandhi, and then Mohandas Gandhi very naively asked him, Maulana, did you have any meeting with Cripps? Meanwhile, he said, no, Bapu. No meeting at all. How can you think that I would have a meeting with Cripps without your knowledge? That paper was already lying with on Gandhiji's desk. Gandhi did not make any comment. Maulana Azad left. And Gandhi's secretary was very, very agitated that, Bapu, I am going to the press to make it public. You have seen how he denied everything. Bapu rebuked, scolded his secretary with a particular comment that you simply tear that paper, destroy that paper, because it is my fault that I have not been worthy of Maulana's trust. I have not been worthy of Maulana's trust. So it is my failure. It is a serious shortcoming on my part. Don't blame Maulana. And why have you brought it to me? Destroy it. Don't make it public. Bhikhu Parekh, one of the most authentic biographers of Mohandas Gandhi, he wrote about this. I gave this example to make you aware, to make you familiar, dear students, and of course all others, faculty members, they may be substantial ideas about Gandhiji. But dear students, this is one of the heights of how Gandhiji's or Mohandas Gandhi's perceptions went. If this is about ethics, then the second word, another loaded word, power, really Gandhi was the only one. I can cite you many examples, because too many images we find about Gandhi, too many mirages. Modern Gandhi, anachronistic Gandhi, postmodern Gandhi, post-colonial Gandhi, revisionist Gandhi, compromising Gandhi, a stooge in the hands of the British Gandhi, etc. So the person is same, but so many images and perceptions. Why? Very recently, after 1915, a new image was created. These are all constructions. And there may or may not be truth in all these constructions. In 1915, Arundhati Roy, she made a comparison between Mohandas Gandhi and Baba Sahib Ambedkar. And Ambedkar, his most famous work was Annihilation of Caste. This book has been, it's a booklet. It has been reprinted. An introduction was written by Arundhati Roy. And there it was pointed out that Gandhi, in fact, did not try to seriously deal with the most important problem of Indian people, particularly coming from ancient times up to post-colonial India. Gandhi never tried to deal with this particular problem, that is the problem of caste, the institution of caste. He rather became evasive of this. Two important scholars based in South Africa, they pointed to a particular image about Gandhi, that Gandhi was a stretcher bearer during the Boer War. During the Boer War, by the beginning of the 20th century. These are all true. But mind it, according to Gandhi's most celebrated biographer, Judith Brown, still alive, came to Kolkata many times, having so many important publications, major books and articles, other papers. Gandhi was described by this Judith Brown, Professor Brown, as one of the most enigmatic characters in the entire saga of Indian freedom movement. This is equally true. That's why I have picked up these two words, power and ethics. Let me come back. What I was telling you, that Gandhi was alone among all the contemporary Indian leaders who did not believe in power politics. All the other leaders, including Jawaharlal Nehru, Gandhiji's most trusted and loved disciple, who became the Prime Minister, including Jawaharlal Nehru, every important political leader, whether belonging to the Congress or to the Indian Muslim League or to the other political parties, including the Communist Party of India, they all believed in power politics. Power politics, what is power politics? There has been a very popular notion these days, according to management studies. One MacGregor Burns, he has particularly brought this to the surface, that there may be two types of political leaders. One is transactional leader and the other is transformational leader. Most of the leaders are transactional leaders. That is, they deal with a kind of politics which is based into the notions of transaction and power. That if you become my associates, if you are with me, if you are in my board, then surely at the end of the journey you will get something. So there is a notion of some very worldly, very realistic receivings in terms of power. There is a very rare generation of other kind of leaders, according to Burns, transformational. That I am not a believer in any power politics. Rather, I am a believer in transformation of the self. Ashish Nandi, he referred to this particular problem of the self. And here he mainly gave example from Rabindranath Tagore. But Rabindranath himself always referred to Gandhiji, although they had differences of opinion. So Gandhi was a transformational leader. I am giving you an example to make it simple. Students of history, you are familiar with the word of Swaraj. Swaraj became a very catchy word, a very popular word from the beginning of the 20th century. When Bengal was partitioned in 1905, there was the Swadeshi movement or anti-Bengal partition movement. And we find that in 1907, the Indian National Congress was divided into two, one with the moderates and the other with the extremists. And my great teacher, Professor Amol Tripathi, in his extremist challenge, he compared the extremists and the moderates with the fathers and sons in Ivan Turgenev's famous novel, Fathers and Sons. Turgenev wrote this novel in Tsarist Russia before the Soviet Revolution, Bolshevik Revolution. So two generations, they are really shifting from each other in 1907. At that time, Swaraj became a very catchy word. And those who used the word Swaraj, particularly, of course, Aurobindo Ghosh or Bipin Chandra Pal or Bal Gangadhar Tilak and others, they all believed that Swaraj means emancipation of India, freedom from the colonial rule, nothing else. Gandhiji, for the first time, used the word Swaraj in 1920, Calcutta session of the Congress. But Gandhi's Swaraj is not Aurobindo's Swaraj. What is Gandhi's Swaraj? Because I am referring to this in the context of transformational leader. That Gandhi believes in transformation, transforming whoever are with him. Not transforming by some eloquent speeches. Gandhi was a very good speaker and a prolific writer. He wrote 100 volumes, almost all volumes written in his own Gujarati language. Only one particular small booklet he composed first in Gujarati, and next year he himself translated this into English. Almost all his writings originally were written in Gujarati and translated by others, not by Gandhi. And about all these writings, because I'm staying with that image of transformational, about these particular writings, Gandhi advised his secretary for some years. He was a Bengali person, Nirbal Kumar Bosu, that don't try to find me into these series of writings. You will not find me here. Rather better, you destroy all my writings after my death. If you have to find me, try to find me in my work, in my day-to-day activities. Because I don't believe in any lofty ivory tower vision. I believe in very real politics, but that real politics is far away from power politics. So Gandhi, let me come back again, Gandhi wrote a particular small booklet, small hence booklet, hurriedly when he was coming back from London to South Africa. I think you all know that Gandhiji, he was a barrister. In his early life, he was always in European suits. He used to speak English very well. He used to attend parties. And he went to South Africa because he had some initial frustrations in India. Initially, he wanted to be a school teacher. He could not be because of the hostile attitude of the Raj. He wanted to be a lawyer. Already he became a barrister. He wanted to be a lawyer in the court of Rajkot. He could not become, he was a failed lawyer. He was not given any suits. He wanted to be a social preacher. He failed. Then he was offered an assignment, a very short-term assignment in South Africa as a legal advisor of a very rich Gujarati diamond merchant. Gandhi went to South Africa by the end of the 19th century, in the last decade of the 19th century, for only 1 year. He stayed there for 20 years. When he came back to India, already India saw two failed experiments of politics, the moderate politics and the extremist politics. I will come to this, but before that, why I told you that Gandhi was returning from London to South Africa. When he was in South Africa, he used to come to India, he used to go to London, because London, he thought London his second home. He always felt at home in London. Once, when he visited London, he had to face scathing criticism by the Indian expatriates who all believed in political ideologies of Savarkar and like this. And they really made Gandhi a target, that they ridiculed him. They had lot of sarcastic comments on him, that you are a Bapu. By that time he had not been a Bapu in India. But what will you do with this writing of your ideas of non-violence? You think non-violence really matters in modern life? Look at the Europeans. When the Indians are facing them, they are really sinking into a fear psychosis. Because including the leaders, millions of Indians, they find themselves pathetic, in a very pathetic situation. That we the Indians, we are inferior to the British, politically, economically, socially, culturally, militarily, technologically. We are nowhere. No wonder Aurobindo Ghosh and others, they wanted to escape into the past. To escape into the past. So Gandhi was so badly criticized in London. When he was coming back to South Africa, hurriedly during his voyage, sitting on board the ship, Gandhi wrote one of his most interesting, most important writings. And what is that? Hind Swaraj. Hind Swaraj, Gandhi very hurriedly wrote to give a reply, to give an answer to all these criticisms. Gandhi came back to Hind Swaraj. When did he write? In 1909, in Gujarati. The very next year, Gandhi translated this in English himself. This is the only Gandhian literature which is written both in Gujarati and English by Gandhi himself. And he always came back to Hind Swaraj. Hind Swaraj was actually very, very immediately, it was censored by the Raj. In Hind Swaraj, Gandhi was talking about power, Gandhi was talking about ethics. In a short conversation, our esteemed officer in charge, Dr. Lama, he was sharing with me how we are these days, in all respects, we are making a copy-paste from the Western system. Something is of course good, but not everything is good. I absolutely agree on this. Because of this fusion of real politics, not power politics, politics on a ground level and fusion of ethics. He was the only one mixing these two things together, that he wanted to disband the Indian National Congress. That Congress has been anachronistic. Congress is no longer required. Dear students, for your information, Gandhi is the first important architect of one most important phenomenon in South Asia, I must say, not just in India. That is mass politics. He was the architect of mass politics. You will not find really any roots of mass politics, even in extremism. Recently, so many historians have written about this. My teacher and a very respected, universally respected scholar, Dr.Partha Gangopadhyay, who has written so much on nationalism globally, such a celebrated scholar. He was my teacher in the Center for Studies in Social Sciences. Partha Chatterjee very assertively wrote that India's nationalism, the idea of nationalism, was a discourse. Of course, it is a discourse, it is a derivative discourse. And this derivative or that it is being derived out of something, that is the Western model. But with a difference. It was a derivative discourse that our nationalism was nothing but a response to, reaction to the European rule, imperialism. Had there been no colonialism, had there been no imperialism, whether there would have been nationalism in the shape it had been, that always remains a question. It was a derivative discourse with a difference. Who is not a Gandhiite. The difference lies in the politics and existence of Mohandas Gandhi. Why? The answer was given by Judith Brown. There was a time when on notions of power and ethics, it was pointed out that Gandhi, he was to be successful. He was destined to be successful. Because he learned diplomacy and politics from his father. And he learned spiritualism, and that way loving his motherland from his mother. Then the question remains, there were many other brothers of Gandhi, Mohandas. All the brothers remained Gandhi in name. Only Mohandas became the Bapu of the nation. So the answer must lie elsewhere. Judith Brown gives us an answer that Gandhi's rise to power, it was a meteoric rise. It was really an incredible story. When Gandhi came back to India, already there was First World War going on. Very few people knew about India. Gandhi had regular connection with Gokhale and some others when he was in South Africa for 2 decades. Anyway, Gandhi was given a very gala welcome in the port. Gandhi is comparatively unknown to the whole Indian nation in 1915. In 1920, Gandhi is the most undisputed leader of the Indian nation. A leader who doesn't believe in any specific loyalty to the Raj. Van den Dungen, he raised a question in 1920 that was Gandhi loyal or a rebel? Dungen's answer was that Gandhi was a rebel. Why? Because Gandhi does not believe in the existence of any nation state. He believes in statelessness. He believes in trusteeship. He believes that power will come from the bottom upwards, not from the top to the bottom, unlike Jawaharlal Nehru. That there will be a very powerful central government, a grand mosaic of the Indian state, and below it there will be other constituents of power. Here I see so many students. I feel as if I am taking a class in Scottish Church College. Because in Scottish Church College, on a personal note I am saying this, every year I find so many very dear students from the Northeast, including this part of West Bengal. Jawaharlal Nehru's letters to his Priyadarshini, that is Mrs. Gandhi. She did not become Mrs. Gandhi. She was small states. He doesn't believe in any hegemony. He doesn't believe in any regimentation. He doesn't believe in any imposition. But in reality, when he became the Prime Minister, unfortunately something very opposite happened. It is not just opposing what he wrote in his earlier very scholarly books, but even opposing the main principles of politics and ethics of his guru, Mohandas Gandhi. Why should he do this? Why did Gandhi do this? Because of this particular uncompromising ethics, but where the sense of ground reality is there. How? Let me explain. You will find that the Muslims for a long time they were anti-Congress and pro-British. For the first time they became anti-British and pro-Congress only after 1916, the Lucknow Pact, which was made under the leadership, under the monitoring of Mohandas. Gandhi said that it is not just a question of politics of Muslims. It is a question of wrong. A public pledge, a pledge given publicly by two important European premiers, the British Prime Minister and the French Premier, and now the public pledge being broken. They pledged, they vowed to protect the sanctity, the physical, geographical compositeness of the Turkish Empire, the Ottoman Empire. At a point of time, there were three major empires: Ottoman Empire, Safavid Empire, and Mughal Empire. The Ottoman Empire, of which the emperor himself was, by virtue of his emperorship, he was the Pope of the Muslim world, Caliph. So Gandhi said it is not a question of Islam. It is a question of a public pledge being broken by two very powerful diplomats of the world. So he called it Khilafat wrong. Similarly, the Rowlatt Act, he said I am not opposing this because it is issued against the Indians by one Rowlatt, the British agent. I'm opposing this because this is a wrong. This is unethical, immoral. No government can do this because why are we treated as subjects? We should be treated as citizens. We are all citizens. In metropolitan Britain, our counterparts are treated as citizens, but here we are treated as subjects. So he called it Rowlatt wrong, and the other is the Punjab wrong, Jallianwala Bagh killing. So if you take this from the other end, then it will not remain only ethical. It will be a question of ground reality. Gandhi knew that there cannot be any tripartite struggle. The British, Hindus and Muslims. There should be a real dual trouble, a dual war. The British on the one hand and all the other Indians, including Hindus, Muslims and others, as a joint front. we can win over the Muslims only if we take to this Khilafat issue. So it does not remain simply ethical, it remains a part of real politics without compromising the ethical point. So Gandhi was absolutely successful. Absolutely successful. After a long time, we see that under the leadership of the Ali brothers, there was a pact between the Congress and the Muslim League. And students of history should remember, or you will learn soon if you have not yet learned. But in your school days you learned that in 1920-22, the first important pan-Indian Gandhian movement. What is the name of the movement? Not just non-cooperation movement. It is known as the Khilafat non-cooperation movement. Absolutely opposed in the Congress session. Two stormy sessions, one in Calcutta and the other in Nagpur. Gandhi won the confidence of the majority. So for the first time, the Khilafat issue was tagged with our politics of nationalism. It is not only an example of high ethics, it is an example of high real politics, but not power politics. Gandhi used to speak in very simple Hindustani language in his initial years. He used to refer to Ram and Ram Rajya. But Gandhi's Ram is not the typical political Ram. Gandhi used Ram and Ram Rajya as rather a very lofty political idiom. What long back King Ashok had done after the war of Kalinga, Ashok, who was a Buddhist, now, he did not preach Buddhism. Rather, he preached something which is called Dhammo. What is Dhammo? Some historians believe that it is nothing but Buddhism. Some believe that no, it is actually Brahmanism under the rubric of Buddhism. But Ashok's most important historian, Rovila Thapa, still alive and writing and active, she showed that no, it is just a summation of some morals. Why did Ashok do this? Ashok had done this to win over the confidence of the people who are now divided on so many different lines after the devastating war, Kalinga war. And now Ashok told about Swargo for the first time. Swargo has nothing to do with Buddhism. Why did Ashok do this? He is in his personal belief, he was a Buddhist. Now, he is doing this because he knows that if he talks about Nirvana, then most people will not understand this. Because in all the researches on Buddhism, scholars have shown that it is difficult to say what Nirvana is than to say what Nirvana is not. Or to put it more simply, it is very difficult to explain Nirvana. It permeates everything, so it is rather easy to say what Nirvana is not. So Ashok did not preach Nirvana. He preached Swargo. Because most people, they will now be attracted. What is Swargo? Something where we have only good times. There are no hard times. We are living an angel's life. So Ashok was using with a very deep political sense, and for the first time in his life an ethical sense, Dhammo, in which he was referring to Swargo, so that most people will be attracted and it will be a cementing force. Gandhi was using the word Ram Rajya as a political idiom. Personally, he of course believed, but that is his personal belief. Important leaders like Surendranath Banerjee or W.C. Banerjee or Firoz Shah Mehta or Dadabhai Nauroji, or Dinsho Wacha or Gopal Krishna Gokhale or Justice Ranade, or in Bengal, Motilal Ghosh, then his disciples, who were all political stalwarts, they were using words like constitution, parliamentary politics, revolution, democracy, freedom of speech. Gandhi was giving examples from Ram Rajya. He was utterly intelligible to the masses. Churchill, the British Prime Minister, during the Second World War, he always ridiculed Gandhi as the half-naked fakir of India. Adha Ulongo Sannyasi, the half-naked fakir. So Gandhi's image to the European media, European political parlor, of course, maybe an image of half-naked fakir. But his image to the countless millions of Indian people was absolutely bright. How? For the first time we find that not only the elites, the educated elites, but the subalterns, the peasants, rich peasants, middle class peasants, landless laborers, landless cultivators, then different kinds of urban proletariat, in a word, the subalterns, in the words of Antonio Gramsci, they were absolutely being appropriated by the Congress under the leadership of Gandhi. Congress was very eager to keep alive the image of Gandhi. So Gandhi's image was constructed. If you go through the papers of Shadinata, the then newspaper, the bulletin of the Congress, you will see that how carefully Gandhi's image is being constructed. That Gandhi, he is a messiah. He can jump into fire. And he is in some myths, in Gorakhpur, in Kanpur, in Allahabad, in Jhansi, in many of the myths, Gandhi was projected as a sugarcane dealer. He was a sugarcane dealer. In some images, in some constructions, Gandhi was a messiah and he was found to be boating in a golden boat. These are all constructions. Congress leaders, they needed Gandhi. This has been brilliantly showed by Partha Chatterjee and Ranajit Guha that Gandhi was indispensable, unavoidable, the most spellbinding factor, the most spellbinding figure, iconic figure in the Indian nation. As long as India is trying to be a state, not yet a state, because India has not achieved independence. But once India becomes free, that is in the Indian state, Gandhi is a back number. And when India was celebrating its freedom at midnight, where was Gandhi? Gandhi was in Calcutta. He was trying to contain the Hindu-Muslim wrath, the frenzy, communal frenzy. So, absolutely, we find a different kind of leader who became the first important promoter of subaltern politics. Everywhere, in Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, United Provinces, CP, Central Provinces, everywhere, even in the Godavari Delta, we find that millions of people, they are rejoicing the rise of one Mr. Gandhi. I will end with one story. That Gandhi is visiting, continuously visiting in train. One day, just a few kilometers behind Kanpur station, the typical mob, everywhere the train is being mobbed. by viewers, by common people, by the peasants, by tribals, by cultivators, by very ordinary people, by vagabonds, urban vagabonds, beggars. In a word, I again repeat, subalterns. Everywhere they are moving the train because they want what? What do they want? They want a Gandhi darshan. In the words of Bhulabhai Desai, Gandhi's secretary. And when the train halted because of this mobbing by the crowd, not educated crowd, uneducated, illiterate, but always rejoicing in the name of Gandhi. One very old woman, she was now aboard the train. And Bhulabhai Desai came forward and said, "What do you want?" She said, "I have seen to see Gandhi Baba." Bhulabhai Desai said, "I am Gandhi." And she immediately bowed down and said, "I salute you. You are our Maharaj." So this is how Gandhi's image was there. Nehru writes in Discovery of India that Gandhi is a person with fads, typical fads. Fads meaning, যাকে আমরা বলি খামখেয়াল. That Gandhi has typical ideas. He is like a madman. He's like a madman, and at times he is incorrigible, unbearable, intolerable. Having written this, Nehru writes, I'm quoting actually Nehru, almost quoting, we need Mr. Gandhi. We need Bapu, not Mr. Gandhi, Bapu. Because he is the only spellbinding personality. He is the only spellbinding personality. We need him. Wherever he is, there are millions of people, thousands of people, at least hundreds of people. But when we become free, we will contain him. Gandhi was sufficiently contained. So he was indispensable. He was such a charismatic figure in the Indian nation. But Indian nation state after independence, Gandhi is a back number. He is actually nowhere. So this spellbinding impact is something that we find in Gandhi's morality and politics. I do not know whether you know it or not. The famous Obon Thakur, he used to make too many spelling errors in his writing. And whenever it was pointed out by any student, then he used to say, আমি এটা বাংলায় বলছি, যে তোমরা বাপু স্পেল করো, আমি স্পেল বাউন্ড করি। So spelling is something grammatical. Grammar has a drudgery. Grammar has a discipline. Grammar has a regimentation. You will not be able to locate Gandhi in any typical given grammar. Because Gandhi's grammar is life's grammar. And that's why Gandhi was far away from the celebration at midnight. Because he knew that he was no longer required. His Swaraj is not independence. His Swaraj is not getting independence, which means inheriting English rule without the Englishman. But now it was just a copy-paste from the Western model of state, civil society, industrialization, modernization, individualism. Don't think that Gandhi is foolish. Gandhi said, I am not against science, but I am against scientism. Something which will make you a slave to technology. And we have today, this is absolutely true. All of us have been slaves to technology, nothing else. So we need ChatGPT. And maybe we need artificial intelligence. And so AI is taught in the curriculum. So Gandhi has been very nebulous. I saw a particular name when I was coming to this room, Nelson Mandela, on the wall. Perhaps you do not know, you may be knowing or not. Nelson Mandela was most highly influenced by Mr. Gandhi. And Mandela always remembered Gandhi as his spiritual guru. So today, when we are facing so many problems of market, corporatization of education, globalization, and institutionalization of corporatism, where we cannot locate Gandhi anywhere. Because do you know why? Because we can locate Gandhi everywhere. Gandhi is not beyond criticism. Gandhi had his very serious limitations. This lecture was not for that. Very serious limitations he had. But he is the only person, I will repeat, who said that my life is my work. You can know anything about my life, any day, any time of my life, any phase of my life, any kind of isms in my life. I have kept my life like a transparent open book. I cannot remember anybody who could say this or do this. Thank you so much. Once again I repeat, I am grateful coming to you.
Can be checked now in Google, but how to organize those facts? What is the basic line of thought that we need to follow? I would suggest all of you to read one essay written by, one article written by Sir, a paper which was published in Journal of Asiatic Society. Look back in anger and despair, and that is a very comprehensive understanding of Gandhi, where he has talked about power, ethics, his religion and politics, and there are 4 aspects, I think. So now with this, well, sir, one more thing that on a personal note, when I was listening to your lecture, I was actually reminded of the first UGC-sponsored minor project that I did, and that was on the writings of Jawaharlal Nehru. And I borrow the words of Ram Manohar Lohia in calling Nehru a Hamlet in Indian politics, who had one thing in mind but did completely other. So something. This is a wonderful experience to actually know what Gandhi wanted, though we are gradually moving away from Gandhi. But maybe the solutions of the problems that we are facing modern day is in Gandhi. And one more thing that is, I think, which would be used for IQAC, is that this is not only a seminar of the history and political science department, but this has also become one of our lectures on IKS, for that matter. So that also something, Indian knowledge system. So that also we can be highlighting. Now I would be, Aban, please bring a chair here so that Sir can sit. And now, if you have any questions, please. Do we have a hand mic?